when we own a Dairy Queen or we own whatever it may be, we look at that as a business. And when we own Coca-Cola or American Express or Apple, we look at that as a business. Now, we can buy really wonderful companies in the market as businesses. We can't buy all of them. All of their shares. We can't buy 90% or 80% or anything like that. But when we look at Coca-Cola and American Express and Apple, we look at them as businesses. Now, there's differences in tax factors, there's difference in managerial responsibility, a whole bunch of things. But in terms of deploying your money, we always look at every stock as a business. And we have no attempt made to predict markets. We have no attempt made to pick stocks. I went through many, many years doing the wrong thing. I got interested in stocks very early, and I was fascinated by them. And I wasn't wasting my time because I was reading every book possible and everything else. But finally, I picked up a copy of The Intelligent Investor in Lincoln, and there was a few sentences in there that said much more eloquently than I can say it. But if you look at stocks as a business and treat the market as something that doesn't tell you, isn't there to instruct you, but it's there to serve you, you'll do a lot better over time than if you try to take charts and listen to people talk about moving averages and look at the Fed pronouncements and all of that sort of thing. And so that made a lot of sense to me then. And the way I've been allowed to deploy it, Charlie and I talked about this, of course, constantly, it's changed over the years as the amount of capital we have and has changed and all of that. But the basic principle was laid out by Ben Graham in that book, which I picked up for a couple of dollars, and which basically said to me, you've been wasting your time now, but maybe you can use what you've learned or been reading about and put it to better use. And then Charlie came along and told me how to put it to even better use.
Hi, Warren. My name is Christine Hone Garcia, and I'm from Agoura Hills, California. Thank you for being an excellent teacher and imparting your wisdom to us throughout the years. What advice would you like to share today that you believe everyone needs to hear?
Well, too bad you didn't he added that what the rest of us would like to hear. I would say that if I had one piece of advice, I would try to, and you're lucky you live in this country, because it's just to start with, because you've got opportunities here that wouldn't exist in much of the world. But I would like you to really sort of use Charlie's advice of thinking how you like your obituary to read, and then start selecting the educational paths, the social paths, whatever may fit your particular situation in terms of associating. And perhaps, certainly in my day, it would have been marrying the person that would best help you do that. Well, Charlie would say you were offering some similar benefit to the partner, and the opportunity in this country is basically limitless. When you think of going back not that many centuries, if you were going to be a shepherd or something like that, 100 years from now, your grandson was granddaughter was going to be a shepherd. I mean, nothing really happened. And what has happened in the last 200 years with the combination of the Industrial Revolution, but whether it's science or education or health, or, you name it, we are so lucky to be born when we were, the people in this room, and many of us were lucky enough to be born in the United States as well, that you're entering the best world that's ever existed, and you want to find the people to share it with and the activities to participate in that fit you. And if you get lucky, like Charlie and I did, you find things that interest you young. But if you don't find them right away, you keep looking. And I always tell students to take the job find the job that you would like to have if you didn't need a job. And sometimes you can find that very early, and sometimes you go through various experiences, but don't forget what you actually are trying to do. And there's no place to do it like this country, and find the person that you like to share your life with in many cases. And sometimes you get lucky and do that early, and sometimes you make mistakes. But I would try to, in a very, very general way, I would try to figure out how you'd want to look back on your life and think about yourself, and start today to go on the path that leads to that goal, and expect some difficulties along the way. But if you're thinking that way, you're more likely to get there. Becky?
This question comes from Axel Mayerseek, and his questions are: 1, what is Buffett waiting for? And 2, why not at least deploy some of it?
Well, I think that's pretty easy to answer. I don't think anybody sitting at this table has any idea of how to use it effectively, and therefore we don't use it, and we don't use it now at 5.4%, but we wouldn't use it if it was at 1%. Don't tell the Federal Reserve that, but prefer it. But we only swing at pitches we like, and if anybody tried to swing at every pitch, or felt that because they hadn't swung at a pitch for the last 2 pitches, they ought to swing at the third one or something like that. There are times, and obviously, but I would say this: I would not like to be running $10 billion now. $10 million, I think Charlie or I could earn high returns on, because I think there are just a few things that happen on a very, very small scale. But if we had $10 billion, I wouldn't basically see many more opportunities than we found. Now, it's true that something like Japan we could have done if the company had a 30 or 40 billion, and we'd have had great returns on equity. But if I saw one of those now, I'd do it for Berkshire. It isn't like I'm got a hunger strike or something like that going on. It's just that things aren't attractive, and there's certain ways that can change, and we'll see whether they do.